Hey guys, how's it going? I am WWE Hall of Famer Lita, welcoming you to General Admission Wrestling.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Three Strikes here on Evolution, the first ever Three Strikes match in the history of General Admission Wrestling. And entering first, the former Apex champion, Garrett Gibson. Lancelot cost him his title against Derrick. And now Gibson walks into this match looking for revenge, looking for redemption, but most importantly, looking for retribution for everything Lancelot has put him through in his GAW career. Gibson is one of the legends of the GAW Academy before it ever even hit the YouTube airwaves. And he has just continued his incredible progress, his incredible evolution as a wrestler to now where he stands as one of the best wrestlers on the planet. A man easily capable of winning more championships, but for right now, there is more important things, and his name is Lancelot.
An evil evolution will bring a feeble institution to its knees. Oh, doctor, can't you see that when the hands of fate from the midnight hour behind this mask of hate, down the devil's power. These are the devil's eyes.
One of the most dangerous birds of prey in the world. That is exactly what Lancelot has been to Garrett Gibson ever since he came to GAW. And now Lancelot hoping to put one final nail in the coffin, and he does it in only the way Lancelot can. Incredible intimidation, the mental factor. This is what he tries to take over. But there's no denying that Garrett Gibson has left his fair share of marks on Lancelot as well. He destroyed Lancelot's eye, he put him through a fuse box, he broke his ribs. These two have been engaged in a conflict that can only be described as titanic since Lancelot came to GAW. And now Lancelot, an underground legend, a man who currently holds 127 championships across his entire illustrious career. But Garrett Gibson not once backed down in front of Lancelot. And maybe that was something Lancelot wasn't used to seeing, that his stature, even amongst the dangerous ranks of the underground, intimidates nearly everyone who comes across from him. But he met his match in Garrett Gibson. And all of it has led them here to 3 strikes, potentially 3 different falls. First man to 2 falls wins the match. And we begin with Garrett Gibson's fall of choice, an underground match. Here we go. Garrett Gibson's rules here are simple. Pinfall, submission, or knockout anywhere in the arena. And look at Garrett Gibson trying to punk out Lancelot. Lancelot not going to let it happen. Going for a knee to the back, and Gibson saw it coming all the way. These two men have had so many battles in their GAW careers. You expect them to know each other. And that certainly seems to be the case. Lancelot gets him up, and Lancelot Ushi-Gurushi to start things off. We have no idea where this thing is going to go. But we do know that Garrett Gibson intended to challenge Lancelot at his own game. And you will find out the underground style of wrestling is much different than what we're used to seeing in GAW. Even Lancelot had to make tweaks to his game when he came here to General Admission Wrestling, but I don't expect that to be the case. Garrett Gibson, he's gonna go up top. Gibson dropping the elbow, but nobody home. In underground matches, you see a level of aggression and brutality that you rarely see in even the fiercest death matches, because at least in death matches, it seems as though the competitors would like to beat each other. That does not seem to be the case in underground matches. We can often go 10, 15 minutes or more without seeing a single pinfall, a single submission attempt, and the referees, well, I mean, you basically have to kill a guy for a referee to stop an underground match. Gibson looking for a powerbomb on Lancelot. Lancelot rolled through, and Lancelot, how poetic would it be if he steals this one here? No, Gibson, core strength. Lancelot, even more core strength. Gibson, he's back up. Lancelot reversed it. Lancelot, he's got two. He's gonna steal it, no. Lancelot very nearly had it. What a sequence, and that is not something you see normally from an underground match. Lancelot going for a basement lariat. Gibson smartly moves out of the way, and now Gibson, once again, gonna go for this powerbomb against the post. And Garrett Gibson straight into the cover. Lancelot kicks out at one. Oh my goodness. What a start to this match, but who knows how much more we have in this thing. God only knows how long this match will go. The second fall, rules selected by Lancelot, is the exact opposite here. Last man standing, no one is allowed to leave the ring. And if we are to go to a third fall, it will be the first ever steel cell match in the history of Evolution. Garrett Gibson just shattered that Singapore cane on Lancelot's head. Are you kidding me? The underground legend kicks out at one. He just had a kendo stick absolutely destroyed over his skull. But now Gibson headbutt, it's countered. Lancelot caught him with a big time uppercut. So my question here is, strategy-wise, obviously, how do they approach each other knowing that they've been into battle so many times in so many different ways, and with so many various things on the line? I mean, obviously, that's the first issue. The second issue is, how do you manage the physicality of this contest? Because you already see what's going on. Lancelot with a stop sign. Who keeps a stop sign underneath the ring? Lancelot was prepared for the underground rules here tonight. In the underground, you see things like that. Snap Saito suplex, and Lancelot going back with a sign. Yep, this is what you see in the underground. Anything you can get your hands on. And now, Lancelot's got Gibson, EMP on the sign. And this underground match may be over as soon as it started. Or maybe not. Lancelot contemplating, Gibson stirring. And Lancelot will not go for the cover. I did warn you. This is often what you see in underground matches. It is a very unique style of wrestling that very few men even attempt because of its brutality. And Garrett Gibson willingly chose it against one of the greatest men to ever do it. Lancelot going to the middle, but Garrett Gibson rolls away. Smart from the former champ, but Lancelot undoing a All-American clothesline. Lancelot turned back into it. Garrett Gibson, he's won the first fall. No! Do not clean your screens. That was a kick out at one from the All-American clothesline. A move that has been synonymous with Garrett Gibson and the Lone Star. A move that helped him win the championship. Although, of course, the fuse box finished the job. To think that we might get more than that in this match, frankly, a frightening idea, to say the very least. Gibson sent Lancelot head first into the exposed metal. Think about the damage that can do. And now Gibson splashes Lancelot back first into that exposed metal. Gibson going for the big boot to follow it all up. Lancelot, he just sat right up, and now Lancelot fires back. These men are throwing live rounds in this match. There is no holding back. Oh, good God almighty. Garrett Gibson takes the metal straight to the sternum, and Lancelot's gonna do it again. Look at the velocity. Lancelot, incredible strategy. You often see in that whip, the other arm will turn so that your opponent is facing you for strategic purpose. This time Lancelot just hauls Gibson. And now Lancelot, he was looking for a powerbomb. No, instead he's going for a stun gun. Right on the ropes. Maybe he felt Gibson was close to breaking out of the original hold. Lancelot's gonna try again, but now Gibson does break out and he went low. I mentioned that I'm more curious than anything about how these two are going to manage their stamina in a match like this. It certainly seems to me that they have thrown caution to the wind in this contest, which now Gibson went for a senton. He went for a senton from the apron, and it spelled disaster, but Gibson able to recover. And just in time, too. Wow. Nice combination. I think we're all thinking here, we're sitting here wondering, who does have the most stamina out of these two men? Certainly in a match like this, in an underground situation, someone like Lancelot, oh my God, Lancelot with another EMP, took him by the neck. He actually picked Garrett Gibson up by the neck for the EMP, but he's not even going for the cover. Again, this is the underground style. You don't have to understand it, but just know that there could be two more matches after this. This is a match that obviously Lancelot will succeed in. The question is, can Garrett Gibson ascend to his level? But then next match, that's a match that Garrett Gibson will be very familiar with. An enclosed environment. Only your fists and your toughness to win. Obviously, Lancelot, incredibly strong, incredibly tough, and we're seeing it here. But Garrett Gibson was born and bred in the sport of amateur wrestling. He understands how to get it done when all you have is your wits and your fists. He has experience in that arena that Lancelot simply does not have. Much like Lancelot has experience in this arena that Garrett Gibson also does not have. Lancelot, what a strike, and beautiful work by the camera crew here in GAW. Best in the world, in my opinion. Lancelot has had his way with Garrett Gibson ever since that EMP. Well, that can't be comfortable. That's straight up cement. But Gibson still dazed. That EMP, I believe, still affecting him. And here's the other thing about the underground style, the fact that, you know, very often it leads to matches like this. Very few covers, very few submissions, anything like that. Oh, Lancelot went for a boot to the gut, might have been thinking another EMP, but this time Garrett Gibson was on top of it. We're coming to a standstill, and Lancelot knocks Gibson silly with that knee. So the other factor when it comes to a match like this is, of course, the fact that when you don't go for any falls, it can really affect your opponent's mentality, especially someone like Garrett Gibson, who is not used to this style of match. How is it going to affect him, knowing that he did not have the opportunity to get a little bit of momentum for himself? We all know, for someone like Garrett Gibson, he feeds off the crowd. That big kick out, the fans get involved, that could be all he needs, but Lancelot does not give you that opportunity. Credit to the referee, by the way, clambering up onto that stage, about 10 feet up. But now Gibson sends Lancelot closer and closer to the exit of this part of the arena. And we've seen with these two before, we know what they could do. Backstage, Lancelot absolutely drove him Fisherman's Buster. Gibson kicked out. That is exactly what Lancelot was waiting for. Underground wrestling is all about versatility and unpredictability. How many times have you heard me say that over the course of Evolution's lifespan? Lancelot, what's he looking for back there? Lancelot went for a trip. Gibson was ready for it all the way. This is exactly what we were talking about. When you talk about unpredictability, this is what we mean. Lancelot now an anaconda vice on Gibson, and Gibson's close here. Gibson is close. I don't know how much more of this he can take. After 2 EMPs, Lancelot, I think he let him go. More disgusting mind games from one of the greatest in underground history. And you don't have to like his tactics to recognize his greatness. Lancelot went for the open hand slap on Garrett Gibson. He just noped him. My God, what a match we have ourselves here. And now Lancelot, he's gotten the upper hand. Backstage they go. It's finally happening. I've never seen so many people so happy to not be able to see what's going on right now. Thankfully, we will stick with the action every second of the way. Lancelot with a power slam on top of a chair. Say hello to the backstage area and potentially say goodbye to Garrett Gibson. He has suffered more punishment than most men could survive, and there might be 2 matches after this. Gibson was able to stop that chair shot. Thank God he did, and now Gibson, he's got Lancelot up onto his shoulders. Gibson, gorilla press, Garrett Gibson, he dropped Lancelot backwards. There's unpredictability for you. That table was right there, in reach. Lancelot probably thought that's where he was going. Garrett Gibson instead dropped him straight on the concrete. And now Gibson, he'll do it again. Shoulder breaker, trying to maybe neutralize more EMPs from the underground legend. The last time we saw these two in this kind of area, Garrett Gibson speared Lancelot straight through a fuse box. Many of us thought that Lancelot's career as we knew it was over after that kind of battle. Thankfully for any fan of underground wrestling, Lancelot remains. Unfortunately for Derrick Gibson, that fuse box didn't finish the job. Once again, our second fall coming up right after the conclusion of this first strike. We'll see a last man standing match with no ringouts allowed. Completely different from what we're seeing here. That match, by the way, picked by Lancelot. Who now is going straight after Garrett Gibson, knowing that he's got a big advantage here after so much punishment has been done. But Gibson, German suplex on the concrete is making my skin crawl. This amount of punishment that these two are dishing out, and still more to come. Lancelot, nice takedown. I mean, it's disturbing what these men are willing to do to each other. Lancelot, burning hammer! Lancelot hit him with a burning hammer on the concrete, and surely that's enough. Lancelot, he's no! And for the first time in this match, genuine shock on the part of Lancelot. that didn't do the job. And I'm sure he's thinking, what more? What more? Lancelot ascending 2 stories, and Garrett Gibson will follow. And that's exactly what Lancelot was hoping he would do. Sort of a bizarre code of honor between these two. I can't explain it, but you almost feel like they respect each other in a way, given what they've been through. Gibson, once again, he's got Lancelot in familiar territory. Powerbomb! And look what is lining this. More fuse boxes. Lancelot wants no business. I don't know why he decided to come up here. It could be a fatal mistake for Lancelot in this fall. But you won't see it on the legend's face. Lancelot. Oh, he went for the Kamagoye. Gibson was all over it. Now Gibson with the fall-away slam on the bridge. Lancelot kicks out at 1. Now remember, referee stoppages are a legal way of finishing this match. But as I told you, in underground contests, the odds that you get a referee stoppage, basically 0. If it hasn't happened yet, folks, I don't know if it's ever going to. Gibson looking to put more punishment, and again a headbutt countered by a Lancelot uppercut. Lancelot has been 1 step ahead of Gibson in this match. Exactly what you would expect, given Lancelot's pedigree in this style. Maybe Garrett Gibson made a mistake. The knee nearly knocked him out. Gibson kicks out again. Wow. This has been just truly unbelievable. I mean, well into it. Oh my God! Lancelot with no prelude, he just threw Garrett Gibson off. And if the referee's not stopping this, what's he doing? Lancelot, that's the first stop. You can hear it through the walls. This building is tearing itself apart at the fact that Garrett Gibson just survived that. Lancelot. So much punishment done to Garrett Gibson, and Gibson can only manage a couple weak strikes. That's all he's got left in him. You almost feel like the rest of this match is elementary for Lancelot, but don't tell that to Garrett Gibson. The man is still fighting. He still has some battle, some war left in him. And I certainly hope he does. Things are far from over. In this 3 strikes match, All-American clothesline ducked by Lancelot. That was almost disastrous. Now Lancelot sends Gibson straight into that car. Lancelot, oh, Shinkawashi. I don't know how much more damage needs to be done to the head to prove to this referee that maybe he should stop this match. Lancelot, he's found another stop sign. He's found another stop sign. Somehow avoids the All-American clothesline, but now Garrett Gibson caught the sign, and Gibson won't even use it. Gibson sends Lancelot tumbling into the concrete. Gibson is actually taunting Lancelot, and again an All-American clothesline misses. The power in the All-American clothesline, but Gibson, not since the first 3 minutes of this match has he managed to connect on it. Lancelot seeing the dangers of a car. He would know. He sent Garrett Gibson crashing through a windshield, breaking the glass over Gibson's back during their match at Nitro 11. And now Lancelot might be trying to do it again. Lancelot is one of the smartest men in the entire world of wrestling. He remembers every second, every move, even the offense delivered against him. from his match with Gibson at Nitro. You can bet on that. Lancelot, again, he's got Gibson up, and again, the Ushigoroshi. Referee going to check on Garrett, and ref, I don't know what else you can want out of this. It seems like Garrett Gibson might be done, but Lancelot, look at Gibson, he's cut over the eye. Lancelot making a run. Shoulder tackle, Gibson avoided it, and now Garrett Gibson, what a shot. Lancelot went for a massive shoulder tackle, and Garrett Gibson, he was ready for it. Now Gibson again, taunting Lancelot. Gibson with a run of All-American clothesline. Referee called it. The referee called it. He called it before Lancelot had hit the ground. Garrett Gibson has won the underground match against all odds. And Gibson has taken the first strike. Unbelievable, but we have to show you the scenes here. This was footage shared to us by the Las Vegas Connection because Derrick Cole last week told Marco Diaz that he would be in their gym that supposedly, according to LVC, nobody knows about, and yet here is Ulysses Sky showing up at the gym, attacking Derrick Cole from behind as always. Those two have so much history, of course, if you've been a fan of the Academy and of Evolution. How did Ulysses Sky find Derrick Cole? I think that is what the LVC wants to know, as this story involving the Apex champion just continues to get deeper and deeper.
Pops, you're down but not out. Look at him. He's so confident. He thinks he got you because the ref didn't stop it for you, he stopped it for him. Guess what, Pops? That's what you thrive on. That's what you need. He's celebrating with the fans. He thinks he's already won. This is his match. He thinks it's over. Pops, make him pay.
What you heard was Igris trying to pump up his dad. Igris, the leader of Reaper District 7, and a man who knows a lot about going the distance, as he very nearly did in the Rumble on the Beach. Over 45 minutes of action for Igris, so he certainly knows what he's doing. Lancelot finally gets that trip to land on Gibson. So once again, a reminder, the rules for this second strike, last man standing, meaning it is not referee stoppage, it is can the wrestler answer a count of 10. And you are not allowed to leave the ring. 5-second count if you leave the ring, and immediate disqualification should you go for 5. So a match almost entirely opposite of what we saw in the last strike. And Gibson, of course, up 1-0, defeating Lancelot in a match that surely Lancelot was confident in. And you see that the Underground legend has come out firing. He did not like the way that last match panned out for him. And we're seeing it here. Lancelot, he's trying to fight at a very quick pace, but Gibson slows things down a little bit. That's what we would have expected from Garrett Gibson, who did soak up a lot of punishment in that match, despite the fact that he got the win. Lancelot with a DDT. Lancelot might actually have looked better coming out of that match. The referee stopped it because of the All-American clothesline, which was so powerful. The ref could basically tell in the air that Lancelot was out, which just goes to show you the incredible toughness of Garrett Gibson. But now you feel like Lancelot might have a little bit more in the tank for this match. And he certainly has more motivation. It's now win or go home over potentially the next 2 strikes for Lancelot. Look at Lancelot. He just went down low on the ref. Lancelot went down low on the ref. Garrett Gibson firing shots off. This is the fastest we've seen him work today because Lancelot went after the referee. I think a residual from the ref not stopping the match when Lancelot did any damage to Garrett Gibson. Now Lancelot trips Gibson, grand chariot. And for the first time, the referee will start his count. Gibson is down. Gibson has until the count of 10 to answer here. So different than what we saw last match, much more objective. The referee not counted on to make a fighter safety decision the way he was in the first strike. And obviously Lancelot none too happy with the decision the referee did make. Referee this time couldn't get to 3 after the striking combination, and now Lancelot grounds Gibson with an open hand slap to the face. Now the referee barely gets to the count of 1. Lancelot playing the mind games that he is famous for. We knew that's what he would come in and do. But now there's another layer to the mind games he's playing, because even if he does win here, there's more to this story. Lancelot gonna go off the ropes and a knee straight to the temple. We've seen many varying strategies in this style of match, and the important thing to remember is that in their Falls Count Anywhere match, both in the first strike here and at Nitro, Lancelot was much more aggressive when he downed Gibson than he is here. So a very interesting strategy from the Underground legend. We've seen lots of different approaches to this style of match. Again, the headbutt betrays Gibson. He eats a straight uppercut from Lancelot, and now Lancelot, forearm to the neck. Gibson just crumples. And Lancelot loving what he's seeing right here. Gibson down again, referee gets to 3, Gibson to his feet. Lancelot brings him down again. Lancelot, knee to the back of the head. Lancelot, a known fan of Adam Cole, the man who won the Rumble on the beach, and the man who is going to challenge Keith Lee for the World Championship at After Party. That is in 10 days. Or, I'm doing my math wrong. It's in 12 days, so make sure you join us. That's Friday, September 9th for After Party. You do not want to miss it. Gibson. Lancelot tried to be cute. Garrett Gibson drop kicked him right in the gut. Lancelot able to stand before the referee's count. But Gibson, for the first time in this strike, starting to put on the pressure. Falcon Arrow. Lancelot stands up after the count of 1, and another trip on Gibson. Gibson had a little flurry there, and he's trying to continue it. He is not going to let Lancelot give him as much punishment as he did in the last match. Gibson knows how dangerous that might be. Lancelot again stands after the count of 1, but still groggy from the attacks of Garrett Gibson. Off the ropes, Gibson with the All-American clothesline, and missed. Gibson has not been shy about going for that one. It won him the first strike. But something tells me he's gonna need a lot more this time. Lancelot targeting Gibson's lower back, and you notice he did turn him that time. Flipped him around during the whip, so Gibson went lower back first, straight into that metal, but now Gibson lays out Lancelot. He is deceptively quick, is Garrett Gibson, a man who has lost a lot of weight in the last year, because he knew, and he said this openly, that he needed to be able to compete with athletes like Lancelot. This is what he came here to do. And now for Garrett Gibson, we're gonna see exactly what he means. Gibson over into the corner, and now Gibson drops Lancelot face first on the metal. And Gibson might have more in the tank for the Underground legend. Lancelot to his feet, All-American clothesline. Lancelot dodged it again. And this time, Lancelot answers back as Gibson was really putting something together.
2, 3.
Lancelot does the right thing. And he's given himself a moment to breathe with that knee That thing caught Gibson right on the chin. Gibson stands after 5. And Lancelot very content to let him do it. Now Lancelot, deceptively quick himself given his size. But again, this is what they preach on the underground, and nobody preaches it more than Lancelot. A man who has one of the most successful training schools in all of underground wrestling, whose former students include the likes of Igris, of Dagonite, Reaper District 7. Lancelot again takes him down with that knee. But now Lancelot, even though the ref is counting, Lancelot knows it's not going to be enough. Gibson stands. It's like he knew what Lancelot was trying to do. Gibson trying to take him down. Lancelot was able to jump over the incoming lariat from Garrett Gibson. Thankfully he did. Who knows what might have happened. Now the rule in this match, another short arm clothesline from the Texan. The rule in this match, as I said, if you are to go outside the ring, it's a strict 5 count. No pauses from the referee, but it is referee's discretion. So if, for example, one of these men was to send the other one out of the ring, then they themselves would get counted out. That was a rule that Lancelot himself placed in this match. And now Gibson, he has been really in control in this contest so far. Lancelot fights off the top rope, he needed to. Great combination, and now the Underground Legend finishes it off with Falcon Arrow. Boy, does Lancelot look good here. And another combination, that one downs Garrett Gibson. This has been a lot more even from an offensive standpoint. It feels like the damage has been about the same. But obviously Lancelot with a lot more to lose in this match, and still more punishment having been given to Gibson in that first strike. Don't tell that to the Texan though. We almost counted him out in the first strike and we regretted it. Do not count him out here. This is his style of match. Once again, All-American clothesline. It missed, and Lancelot following slam. That All-American clothesline has let Garrett Gibson down. Lancelot, double underhook. Lancelot, modified EMP. I didn't know the EMP could get any more devastating, but Lancelot adds the underhooks. Lancelot throws the best pile driver in the business, and it just got even more dangerous. And Lancelot watches as Gibson hasn't moved since the EMP. Garrett Gibson may very well be out here in this second strike. No! Before the count of 8, Garrett Gibson makes his way to his feet. And now Lancelot, he went in, he shot in, but Gibson, great defense. Lancelot sidesteps, Gibson avoids. Lancelot going for a patented drop kick. Gibson sidestepped it. Lancelot caught him with the open hand. That low thrust kick did connect. Now Lancelot going again. This time Gibson read it all the way. Gibson tucked underneath. Cutter attempt, counter. Lancelot caught him right in the chin. That knee strike has been Lancelot's go-to. And now Lancelot, he's going for the senton. The senton leg drop at Garrett Gibson. He made his way to his feet. It's like it's powering him up. Gibson is tough on another level. Gibson catches that strike, and the headbutt finally connects for Garrett Gibson. And now Gibson rolls him through, and this time Garrett Gibson starches Lancelot with a knee strike of his own. Oh my goodness. Lancelot, after all that, may lose 2-0 on that knee strike. Referees at 6. Lancelot could be in trouble. That knee strike caught him. We're at 8. Lancelot, he made it to his feet. Garrett Gibson doesn't care. All-American clothesline ducked by Lancelot. That trip sidestep by Gibson. Knife edge chop. Lancelot fired it up. Gibson caught him with the right. Lancelot again, the knee strike. And now Lancelot unleashes. Garrett Gibson thought this thing was over. Lancelot got to his feet on the count of 9. Now Lancelot shot in for the takedown. That is exactly why we gave the edge to Garrett Gibson in this one. Gibson with a punt. And boy, did he unload on that. Garrett Gibson knows that he's stunned Lancelot, but he doesn't even get 4 as the Underground Legend back to his feet. All-American clothesline. Lancelot again out of the way. The All-American clothesline has let Garrett Gibson down throughout this strike. Lancelot, does he believe that that's enough? A straight kick to the exposed face of Garrett Gibson. You never know what it could be in a match like this, but that was not it. Still more to be done, and it's the Grand Chariot from Lancelot. But that's not enough. Lancelot's got more. The Underground Legend, he's got the double underhooks again. EMP. The fans, they've gotten behind Lancelot, I think, because they've just gotten behind this match. And surely that is all Garrett Gibson has left. That's 2 EMPs, 2 Grand Chariots. Normally it takes 1 of each, but Garrett Gibson stands up again. Lancelot cannot believe it, but he's going straight back to work. Lancelot, oh, he almost connected with the knee, but Gibson again saw it coming. He's got eyes in the back of his head. All-American clothesline. Lancelot saw it all the way. And once again, the famous clothesline for the big Texan, not enough. Lancelot, he's got 3 in him. EMP. But now that's not enough. Lancelot, he's done so much. Shoulder tackle again. This time it's a drop kick. The shoulder tackle doesn't bring Gibson down. The drop kick does. And now Lancelot threw him outside the ring. Lancelot has taken Gibson to the outside. Remember, it's a 5 count. It's a strict 5 count. But Lancelot, he's going back. Burning hammer. Burning hammer on the outside. Lancelot needs to get back in. Gibson, though, he's on the outside. Lancelot will be disqualified if he leaves Gibson out there, and he won't. Gibson hasn't moved since the burning hammer. He can't even support himself. Lancelot sends him into the ring, and the referee will begin his count.
2,
3 EMPs and a burning hammer on the outside. It wasn't enough to do Garrett Gibson in the first time, but so much more punishment has been done to the Texan, and Lancelot is about to beat Garrett Gibson at his own game. The fans know what's about to happen. Lancelot cheated at his own rules, but Lancelot has won the second strike. This match is going to a 3rd strike. For the first time ever, 3 strikes in GAW. And we're going to 3. Lancelot knows the fans hate what he did. I don't think he cares. Lancelot has come back with his back against the wall. He won the second strike. And now we will go to a 3rd. The first ever steel cell match in the history of Evolution. Where is Caitlin Dunlap? The question everyone wants to ask, but no one can, because of the toxic culture around GAW. But don't worry, my babies. I'll be back. And as for Yamamoto, the new champion, if that's what you want to call her, your belt is only yours as long as I don't want to make it mine, honey. Think about that. Well, it seems Yamamoto might have a new challenger, but as for Apex champion Derrick Cole, It's an old friend. TJ Frost will march in to challenge Cole for the Apex Championship next week right here on Evolution in the main event. Frost has done everything he can to collect a bounty on Derrick Cole's head, but could he also walk out with championship gold? And folks, our next special event returns to the great city of New York. It's Battle at Broadway. The first time we've ever done this show, the first time we've ever performed at Broadway. And folks, you do not want to miss this as GAW returns to New York. Battle at Broadway begins October 3rd, so make sure you set your calendars. And of course, the live admission fee will be coming at you before the show officially begins. So folks, make sure you're subscribed. With After Party, Cole versus Frost, and Battle at Broadway, you can't miss a second here on GAW. Let's get you to the third strike. It is a steel cell for the first time in Evolution history. Here we go. Lancelot and Gibson, they've taken so much out of each other over 2 strikes, 45 minutes of combat. How could there still be more in the tank? And in a match as violent as this, the only rule, pinfall or submission inside the ring. Everything else goes. And with the dangerous steel cell, and you can see these men both almost hesitant to do anything. Just the damage that they've sustained over 2 matches. And again, as I said, a weird sort of respect between these 2 men for what they've done. Gibson is the first. Gibson breaks the deadlock and just watches Lancelot whiff on that drop kick. Lancelot turns it over with the ground and pound. I mean, you're just given to wonder what more could these men do to each other after what we've just seen over the first 2 strikes. We've seen everything. EMPs, All-American clotheslines, burning hammers, grand chariots. We've seen it all. And yet here they are, tied at 1 strike apiece. Gibson with a power bomb. The story here, the All-American clothesline failed Garrett Gibson. Last match, he wasn't able to hit it once. And that was too much. Gibson tries to fly in with a leg drop. That's a tried and true method we've seen from previous champions in GAW. Kurt Andrews very famously used a Phoenix Splash to beat Garrett Gibson and become the first ever recognized Academy champion. Gibson might have been thinking to take for the skies. Gibson, is he gonna do it? He already rethought it once. Gibson, no. Smart man, in my opinion. He will not go there. This night has been something special. The first ever 3 strikes match in GAW history. And I pray we don't have more, because God only knows what these men are gonna be like coming out of this. How much can they endure? Both of them have had to be cleaned up. Lancelot's been retaped twice. Gibson's retaped his wrist. He had to have a cut over his eye, literally stapled in between the first 2 strikes. And yet, here they are, continuing to go to war in this match. I hope you remember this, folks, because this is something unlike anything we've ever seen before. This is something you can tell your kids about. I saw the 3 strikes match. Gibson going straight for the table, but Lancelot fires back with the offense. Gibson with an uppercut. Backs Lancelot up. It's been only striking on the outside here, and with good reason. Garrett Gibson knows what happens if he gets up on Lancelot's shoulders. The burning hammer on these very pads was enough to end Gibson's 2nd strike. Gibson gonna let Lancelot just teeter. Lancelot unsteady on his feet. And I wonder why that could be. I think he might still be feeling the effects of the All-American clothesline back in the first strike. Gibson pulling out more plunder. It's a baseball bat, it's a kendo stick, and the table from before, and now both men back into the ring. Gibson fires back with the strikes. Stepping all over the weapons, Gibson goes foot first into Lancelot. And Gibson, I see some blood already on the Underground Legend. Gibson has opened him up. The GAW docs tried to do everything they could to keep these men at least relatively healthy. Oh, man! That headbutt again answered with a massive knee from Lancelot. And now Lancelot takes Gibson down. Lancelot's going straight at him with a kendo stick and he broke it. He straight up snapped it, and now the baseball bat. I think Lancelot has snapped himself. Lancelot. Can you blame him? He knows what he has to do. Grand Chariot. Lancelot knows what he has to do in this match. And notice, not even a thought about the Grand Chariot ending this thing. If two of them and two EMPs couldn't keep Gibson down for 10, there's no chance the Grand Chariot keeps him down for 3. Gibson now using the table as a weapon in and of itself. And Garrett Gibson, remember, he's got that cut above his right eye. Lancelot's been opened up. Gibson sends a chair right back into his face. Lancelot goes low. That knee strike caught. Garrett Gibson finally caught on to Lancelot's preferred method of offense in this 3 strikes match. And now Gibson! Short arm knee strike. It's what he used in the second strike to nearly put Lancelot out for 10. No! I think Gibson has also been opened up. That cut above his eye. Lancelot now bleeding profusely. Gibson sets up the table. Lancelot goes for the back. Gibson caught it. And now Gibson goes straight at the damaged ribs. And more. All's fair in love and war. Turnabout is fair play. Whatever you want to say. Lancelot used the bat. And now both of them are just going hell for leather with an object that was never designed to be used on people. Lancelot with a knee strike. I mean, I hate to say it, I hate to sound callous, but I almost feel like the creativity and brutality is what is going to put this match away. That's what's going to decide this thing. Because so much has already been done. What more can you do? And unfortunately for Gibson, I think Lancelot might have the upper hand. Lancelot just sent Derrick Gibson through a cell wall. Lancelot just put everything he had into that toss and literally threw Garrett Gibson through the steel cell. I mean, you almost knew it was going to happen. You almost knew that even the cell would not be enough to contain these two. Gibson trying to fight back, both men battered and bloody after a war that could be taught in the history textbooks. Lancelot contemplating here. Gibson back to his feet. Lancelot gonna go around and meet him, but Garrett Gibson was there waiting for him. Again, it's just a lot of strikes because what more do these men have in them? What more could they do to each other and to themselves? Gibson, straight right, push Lancelot backwards. Now Lancelot backs Gibson up, and again, the two, almost out of respect. The fans just cannot believe what we've seen, and frankly, neither can I. Lancelot's gone for the offensive. Gibson, that kick avoided, that chop avoided. Gibson, look at this combination, headbutt caught, and again. Lancelot, Euro uppercut. Gibson, sharp point, Diving headbutt countered. Lancelot boxed the ears. And now the underground legend, once again, Ushi. I think we've seen those quite enough. And now Lancelot will scale. Lancelot will climb to the top of the steel cell, and Gibson will follow. Of course he will. Was there any doubt that Garrett Gibson wouldn't back down? So here they are, 20 feet in the air. One final strike on the line after 2 years of bloody war. And they can do nothing but exchange strikes. Lancelot Ushi. We've seen what can happen up here. Aleister Black and Walter back in season 2 very famously fought in the steel cell. Lancelot just tried to toss Garrett Gibson off. Gibson threw on the brakes, and thank God he did. We're talking about potentially life-changing consequences in this match. Lancelot just toying with Gibson. And Lancelot, we saw him do it in the first strike. Lancelot with a drop kick. That had to hurt Lancelot as much as it hurt Gibson. He landed back first on the metal. Lancelot, I think he might have gone crazy. I think he might be crazy. Gibson with a clothesline. These men have lost their ever-loving minds. Gibson, DDT. What more is there to do up here? What more can they even do to each other? Now Lancelot, he's got Gibson. Dangerous EMP! EMP up here, but it doesn't help. The fall has to happen inside the ring. The ring is not a rectangle of unspecified height. You have to be touching the canvas, so Lancelot's EMP will do him no good other than hurting Garrett Gibson. But I think for Lancelot, that's all the good he needs. And now Lancelot, we're in dangerous territory here. Lancelot, he was gonna throw Garrett Gibson over. Gibson, he nearly sent Lancelot over himself. Gibson, what's he gonna do here? Is he gonna think better of this? Gibson, he's gonna go towards him. Powerbomb, Gibson, sent him through onto the table! Garrett Gibson just powerbombed Lancelot through the cell onto a table. I asked what more could be done. Lancelot out on his feet. Garrett Gibson from the corner. All-American clothesline. Garrett Gibson to win the 3 strikes. He's done it. And how much must it mean for Gibson to hear that music after nearly an hour of pitched combat? I can't believe what we have just seen. Powerbomb through the cell. Lancelot went through a table. All-American clothesline. Hey. Nice job. I respect you. Anybody who can do that to me, you're all right. We'll see you later. Lancelot, after all of this, a class act. Say what you want about Lancelot, the underground legend at least has respect for this sport and for this company. But Garrett Gibson has won the 3 strikes match. This is an event that I don't think any of us will forget anytime soon. But folks, we're just getting started. After party, Cole versus Frost. And then, of course, it's Battle at Broadway. All still to come here on GAW, so make sure you subscribe. We appreciate you.